and welcome to the Toy Thor. It's car day today. I've spent a couple of days just messing about with my shelves and sorting all my cars out, so I just thought I'd take you along for the little journey, my escapade, and then show you some of my cars when they're finally all done. So in honour of that, it's obviously car day. Hope you like the rest of it. We're a bit packed for space, and I want to show you basically what I've got on display in regards to the cars, but it's all a little bit packed. So all I'm going to do is increase the shelf space a touch. So I'll take these off and join me when it's all done. Poof. So as you can see, what I've done is I've extended that shelf slightly, and I've put a little fancy curve on that shelf, bringing it out slightly, but leaves you with problems. That shelf's now too dark and recessed, so that might have to come out an inch or two. Let the boglins sit slightly forward. The bottom two shelves I've not decided what to do yet, because I've got my annuals, some of my annuals there, and obviously lots and lots of rifle racks and bits and bobs and knickknacks, and I like having the knickknacks to look at as on that shelf. It's got me thinking, because my stereo has just gone bang. I might take that off and use that to put knickknacks on, because I'm not going to replace it. That's the third amplifier cassette player, because they're built in, I've gone through with this. So this little stereo, where they're about 100 quid, this one's cost me about 250 with buying amps and stuff. So yeah, so we're now going to put everything back on the shelves, giving things a little dust off, and I'm going to put you over here, and there'll probably be a cut here while I get this set up. Ping, I'm going to get things put back on here. I'll probably go through some of the cars with you while I'm at it. Depends how long the video lasts. These ones were in, that's right, these were in BT's, Central Milton Keynes. I don't know whether you remember BT's toy shops, but they shut down. So as they were closing down, I bought them from there. They were having a half price sale. If that was $5.50, I bet it was a lot cheaper than that. So I'm just going to give things a bit of a dust off as I put everything back on the shelves. I don't think my video will last this long, but there you go. But I'll put that one. I think I'm going to put that there, but I have an issue because I have these ones to fit on. That's my little all box collection. That's a Minix one. You don't see those very often. It's really nice, and that's a really minty splitty. It's gorgeous, that. But I don't know if I'll fit that on. Yeah, it will. So what I'm thinking is, there are ambulances at either end, and that pushes my SAS soldier out the way a bit, and then I can put my, yes, that works. So look at this, a bit dusty, only a little bit. I do try and dust regularly. So this is really nice. This is a lovely little pack, really lovely. I wish I had the Sierra one in it though. That would have been so nice. So I think that's a Lamborghini, and then that is the Alfa Romeo sports car, 99p Tesco's. Wow, imagine that. So where am I going to put him? He won't sit on there, sadly. but he will sit on top of my Continental. So I'm going to sit him up there. This is all about making enough room for everything. Audi Quattro. Now this one, I've had this car since I was a kid, probably mid to late teens. Never had a box for it, but it's always been kept mint. And then I bought the box just before we moved here to Ireland. I found someone, believe it or not, just selling the box on its own, the right box for the right car. If you spend long enough looking, you do come across them. So, but yeah, nice. Love that. Love a Quattro. These are really love. I don't know how many of you guys are into Matchbox, but if you are, then you'll know all about the Plymouth Grand Furies. I'm yet to find a really mint enough police car that isn't going to break the bank. So what I've got is 2 fire department ones. This one's a limited edition. This was the Fire Chiefs of America limited edition one, and this one's just a standard fire department one. But it comes in the Audi Quattro Matchbox box, even though it's in the right, it is the right box. But yeah, I used to have the New York Grand Fury, the police department New York. So nice, so nice. So those two can stack up there at the back. They look cool up there. And this is us, feeling a bit better about the shelves now, been able to put a little more out. As I say to you all, this isn't the most inspiring car collection you're ever going to see. It's just mine, and a lot of it is stuff I've had for years, many years, well over 40. Some of them, other bits I've just picked up along the way, but it's just one of those. I see what I like, and yeah, you just grab it, don't you? But I've never spent a fortune on the toy cars because I always spend a fortune on the real things. Oh dear. Past times. Let me show you around, shall I? Let's move in a little now. So this is my first of all, we've got the Hot Wheels, which are all the modern ones. These are a tiny selection of what I've bought just recently. Most of my collection is in the garage, and some are still in boxes. I've probably got the best part of, I would suggest 600, I would say, overall. Some of them are doubles, some are things I like, and some of things are just literally like if you come across a treasure hunt like that one, you grab them. Some of the rarer stuff like the cone shakers, they're great because they hold up another card. But yeah, it's just a case of what takes my fancy, but certainly I like realistic cars more than the fantasy stuff. So the Ferraris, etc. I absolutely love Purple Passions. I've got the full selection of all of those, except some of this year's cases. I think the Ferraris look superb. Everyone likes the old Chevy Silverado. Everyone loves that one. So yeah. Right, let's get back to where we were. My Ford shelf. So some of my badges. And then we've got tucked around here, we have Sierras and a Capri, Escort, Mark III Escorts, Sierras obviously. We've got the RS2000, and then we've got obviously more Sierras in the Super Kings. Ford Transits, because I love Ford Transits. Had a couple of those. RS200. My Bullet car, which I love. I think that's a fantastic model of his. Very common, but it's fantastic. Yeah, look at my corgis. I just think they look superb. I really do. They look like a little car show all on their own. One or two a little bit battered. I think that's this grey and burgundy one's the one I've had the most, the longest I should say. So I've probably had that for 30 odd years. So it's a bit tired. It's been everywhere. One or two of the modern Hot Wheels in a Matchbox there. A couple more badges. And then we move into the Capris. That is a Norev Tickford Capri. That was given to me by an amazing friend of mine, John Woodhams, who, without which I would have never have got my Capri on the road. He was just there for me at a time when I really needed someone, and he was like sent to me, I think, like an angel, and he helped get my Capri on the road. Otherwise I'd have never have got it over here into Ireland. Sadly I had to sell it within a year of getting it here, but these things happen, don't they? More Sierras. That's the Fast and Furious Escort, the only car from that movie franchise that I'll own. Beautiful Ford Corgi van. That's the Mark, I think that was the Mark 1 Escort van. Lovely, lovely. Another Sierra. And then finally, this is a funny little thing. This is a little battered Capri I just found in one of my cases, and it was so destroyed, but I've never seen a Capri fire chief car, so I thought I'll keep it, and you never know, one day I might just get to restoring that. And then we've got obviously Bodie's Capri. We've got a lovely Zaxpeed touring car Capri there. That's a lovely model. And then there he is, the man himself, Bodie, with his Capri. It's a bit tired. Needs something better. So that's the Ford. If we want to jump onto Ford and my other love, which is Only Fools and Horses, we could just jump up slightly and look at my Del Boys Capri. Avec moi, as they say in the Latin Quarter. So yeah, at least I've got a Ford theme continuing on my Only Fools and Horses shelves. I will come back to my Only Fools and Horses stuff, another video, but yeah, keeping the Ford theme. And then moving down to my Matchbox shelf. So pretty much everything on this shelf is Matchbox. So from the air ambulances, which again I've had since I was a kid, the Plymouths, the Audi boxed, which I found separately. I had the Audi for years, then I found the box when I moved here. Love commercials, absolutely love commercials. These are all the ergonomic cab selection that Lesney made in the early 70s, and they put a whole host of different bodies on the chassis. I just think they're lovely, really nice. The Transporter's lovely with the Jags on it. Max very kindly gifted me that beautiful missile launcher there, which I'm very, very pleased about. It looks fantastic there on the shelf. Obviously Lang cranes, smaller and the bigger daddy. And then we've got the Auto Transporter, really futuristic. Again, had them for years. We've got the two Steer and Go Mustangs. So these are Ford Mustangs. You could put them on the Ford shelf, I suppose. But these were, I don't know whether you guys remember these. You pull a little lever at the side and it moves the wheels left to right. They're cool. I've had those for years, but they've been well overpainted. Honda bikes in the trailers. Really nice. Land Rover Camper Expedition. The little Chipperfields at the back. The glow-in-the-dark TR7. Do any of you remember those? The whole range of glow-in-the-dark ones. I think were they called glow wheels or something like that? Bear with me. Quicksilvers. That was it. Quicksilvers from 1982. And they did a whole range of those. We've got the Rollermatics Buggy, which is a nice one, but I also have a Rollermatics boxed one at the back there. And As you can see, I've got 1 or 2 box ones, which are all really nice in their boxes. The Lincoln Continental's beautiful. That's actually in blue in the box. That's the little Minix one, little Minix car. They're not common, that's for sure. Yeah. So, and then we've got another auto steerer there. I think that's the Mia Fiore. I think that is. Is that the Lamborghini? I think so. The Continental. Now, this one, this truck, I had that as a young lad, and I had it for years. And I don't know where it went. One of those. I left home at 18. It was on my windowsill. Never saw it ever again. So God knows where that went. So I bought myself one a few years ago, but it was just sat in the loft, sadly. So it's nice to have it out because it brings back a lot of good memories. My other air ambulance from when I was a kid. I say a kid. I think I bought those. I've got a feeling I bought these when I was about 19, 20 because they were on sale at BT's. BT's in Milton Keynes was closing down. My wife and I were in there and I bought them then. Probably with a view to if we ever have a kid of our own, then he could play with them. But Lewis got that much other stuff that they never got opened. And then we've got my Volkswagens at the front. So absolutely love the Volkswagens. So we've got the combi conveyor. We've got the splitty raised roof camper. And we've got the Impy. This one is made by Impy. These aren't, they're fairly common. Some of them go for good prices, to be fair. But yeah, Roadmaster Impy. They're very nice. They've got suspension. They've got proper jeweled lights on them, little jewel headlights, so they shine. They're pretty cool. And then there's the other splitty. So, yeah. And then just below, we've finally got a bit of a mishmash. So there's all sorts on here. There's Baragos. So we've got a modern Barago Scooby-Doo there. We've got, I can't remember what that one is at the back, where I got that. Just picked it up, some random Mercedes-Benz. We've got an Audi presentation, A3, Q3. I don't know where I got this Lada from. It's an East German Lada, boxed. Couldn't tell you where I got that from. Can't remember at all. Do remember getting that. I got that. I found that in its box in a junk shop when I lived in Southport about 30 years ago. So, and then somehow, I didn't realise, but in a box in my loft, I also had one unboxed, which is the red one. So that turned out very strange. We've got a Majorette. Oh, that's nice. And then again with Barago, somehow I've ended up with 2 of these. I've got a boxed Audi rally car and then the unboxed Audi rally car, both Barago. Couldn't tell you where I got them from. Fila Ducati truck. This was my dad's. He used to have a load of these trucks on his shelves. I've now got them in a box. The reason I've got this one out on display is because Neil Hodgson was my absolute hero. Sharon and I used to go on the motorbike and watch Hodgson race around the UK. We've both still got loads of his clothing and memorabilia and stuff, so I had to have this one out. Corgi Jag, Man from Uncle car with the figures in it. This little Lesney from the early 70s. I've got one of these. My brother's got one of these because my nan had one. Nan Lil had one of these on her stereogram in the lounge for years, and I used to play with it. I'm sure Ian did before. I think Ian ended up with hers. I came across this a little while ago, and I just had to have it because you don't see them that often. Then we've got the experimental car, there. And then I've got my quirky cartoon stuff. So I've got Batman, Tom and Jerry's cannon shooter, old Snoop's there, Bugs Bunny in his carrot launcher, Wonder Woman. Yeah, more like I wonder if it is a woman. My God, that's not the most flattering body sculpt, is it, for a Wonder Woman? She must have been gutted when she saw that. We've got Olive Oil, which actually looks like me in my mate's Honda Acti. My mate Stephen has got a tiny little Honda Acti, and I once sat in it for a picture. If I can find the picture, I'll put it up. But that's what that car reminds me of. Little scout car at the back. And then these, I adore my Lesney small commercials. We've got commas and Leylands. Look at all of these. Mainly loads and loads of milk floats, as you can see. Am I a bit obsessed with milk floats? No, not really. I just think they're cool. We've got the refuse wagons. More milk floats at the back. We've got an ice cream van at the back behind the pumps. We've got a car transporter, another refuse truck, and then the refreshments lorry at the back of trailer, sorry. But yeah, absolutely love these little mini commercials. I think they're beautiful. So quite happy to have a few of those. I have got a load more tucked away, but I just can't fit everything out. So that's a little tour of the cars. As I say, not the most pristine, not the most valuable, but to me, I love them. More or less every one of them has a bit of a story, and to me, as probably your stuff is to you, it makes it special. And I just love the fact that for the first time in many, many years, I've been able to have them all out on display. What else have I got? Oh yeah, just up above, look, I've bought this recently. Well, bought it when we were in Milton Keynes, the Back to the Future time machine, to go with my sealed VHS Back to the Future video set. And then at the top, I've got a few Snoopy bits, because I absolutely love Snoopy and Garfield, as you can see. But yeah, so I think that's it for the vehicles mainly. So yeah, there we go. I hope you liked him. I know a few of you have asked if they can look at the cars. So I thought, why not? I'll show you them now I've done the shelves. I've got a lot more rejigging to do on some of the other shelves, because the Action Men, as you can see, they need a deeper shelf, all of them. I need to be able to get these out better, because I'd like to move them around better than I have done, because I've got those on that side and then splitting. I've got my Germans on that side, but I really need to have a move around. And then there's the ones in the cabinet, as you can see. But I will do a little tour on those, because my room's a tip at the moment. So cool. Hope you enjoyed. Hope it was interesting. Thanks guys. Cheers.